Harry's wife. Boo. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You may well be aware that at the Thanksgiving service that took place at St. Paul's Cathedral, Harry's wife and Harry were booed by a section of the crowd. Here's the video footage, and if you listen carefully, amongst the ringing of the bells, you can distinctly hear the disapproval of those gathered outside. Here comes the footage. Wish, quite rightly, to express their disapproval of the gruesome twosome and do so through booing them. They do so without it affecting Her Majesty and spoiling her proceedings, and it was evident as the two left in isolation that the people there, who've seen straight through them, expressed their disapproval of their behaviour. It is undoubtedly the case that both of them will have heard the boos. What does this mean for Harry's wife? Well, it's challenge fuel. It's fuel because people are reacting to her. But it is a challenge because she thinks of herself as eminently likeable and not somebody who should be booed or should be disapproved of. It's therefore a threat to her sense of control. You'll notice she descends the steps. She keeps a very tight grip on Harry, utilising the grip of doom, which is her continuing to assert control in that regard over him. By provoking a response from him, she receives some fuel and reassurance, which helps her to negate the threat posed by the booing. Of course, the booing continues as they descend the steps. You'll notice that she focuses on the gentleman who's got the sort of furry hat, giving him a smile. Therefore, she asserts control over him with the smile and receives some acknowledgement. She is in effect deflecting from the threat to control posed by the booing by focusing on the gentleman with the hat, and similarly she does so when greeting the gentleman stood by the car. She can't go over and flick the V's or flip the bird at those who are booing as a direct assertion of control. She can't whip out a pistol and start shooting them. She can't go over and berate them and confront them. The facade management will not let that happen, and therefore she cannot deal with that threat to control posed by the booing by approaching the people directly. She could deal with it indirectly by perhaps saying something to Harry along the lines of, "Oh, I see the bigots have turned up," and he would nod and give his approval to the fact that she's called them bigots, and that would allow that unconscious indirect assertion of control. But that doesn't appear to happen here. Instead, she deals with it in part by focusing on the man with the hat and the gentleman by the car, and also internally, her narcissism will be telling her to stay in a position of withdrawal and basically to jettison these individuals, believing them to be those swivel-eyed, foam-flecked bigots that she has so repeatedly maintained that members of the British public are. Remember, she doesn't think to herself, "Oh, I deserve being booed after my terrible and disgusting behaviour." Her narcissism will not attribute any accountability or culpability on her part. That simply will not happen. However, what will occur is that her narcissism will cause her to dismiss them, to push them to one side and act as if those people really don't matter, to enable to her assert control. In that moment, of course, it is not pleasant for her. It's a threat to her control. It will cause unease. It will cause anxiety. It will cause a sensation of falling away because there is that expressed disapproval from a number of individuals. However, she laps it up as fuel continuing to smile, and it doesn't unsettle her in the way that it would unsettle Prince Harry. Her narcissism comes to the rescue. But, of course, the reaction of the British public to their behaviour was going to make an appearance at some juncture, and it has. Expressed disapproval of a narcissist is challenge fuel. We drink up the fuel that you're providing to us, and dependent upon the type of narcissist you're dealing with, the narcissist will deal with that threat to control in differing ways. Here, she stayed in a position of withdrawal, focusing on other individuals. But she will have noticed it. It will have landed a blow against her as challenge fuel, not as great as the wounding, and wouldn't provoke the nuclear wounding that I've spoken about elsewhere. But nevertheless, not a good day for Harry's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.